Every movement in history was started by people that think beyond themselves. You know, I don't know about you, I'm a parent and I've got sons. And I have a 3-year-old son that looks at me, and the other day he was looking at me and I realized that he was actually watching me do what I was doing. And I don't know if you get those moments as a parent, because sometimes as a parent we get moments where you catch your child looking at you and it feels like that child is drinking you. You know, the way looking at you to the extent where they are drinking every aspect of you, everything that you're doing, your posture, your behavior, the way you breathe, the way you... I don't know how to really describe it, but probably if you're a parent or somebody who's in authority and have people that look up to you, you've experienced this. And sometimes it can be so intimidating because you're asking yourself, what are they seeing? What are they seeing? They're watching my reactions. They're listening to me talking to other people, and they're looking at me intently. And it became so clear what we are normally told, that children don't do what we tell them. They do what they see us do. There are some sacrifices, and we talked about this, an intergenerational conversation when we were talking about Mombasa Road. There are some sacrifices that we make, there are some decisions that we make that have got such far-reaching implications that sometimes they can scare you, especially as a parent. And what it does is it keeps you in line. It keeps you in check. So my challenge to parents is this. Are you living your life in a manner that it can be a blueprint for your kids? Because what they pick is not your decisions, it's your decision-making framework. They learn to make decisions using the same framework that you use. Whatever you use to make a decision is what they are going to use. For example, there's somebody right now who, when things are bad, you go drink. So you go, you say, I'll come back. You walk out, you go drink. Once you get high and you're completely drunk, then you come back and you deal with the issue. And the kids watch that. So what you're doing is you're using alcohol as your decision-making framework. And what happens is when the kids wake up, they use something else as a crutch to help them get the boldness to make decisions. So what happens? They may not even use alcohol. They may use alcohol, but they may not even use it. They may use drugs. They may use clubbing. They may go out and do something else and then come back to the decision. Because what you're teaching them is run away from the decision, run away from sobriety, and then come back when you're not yourself and you've got false boldness and make a decision. And that is some of the rot that there is in our society today. We are finding young people doing crazy things, committing suicide, and you're thinking, couldn't you just talk to somebody? But we've taught them a false decision-making framework. When you sit and you think about something goes wrong and you sit, you don't talk, you think about it. And then after a day or after 2 hours, you come back and say, I've been thinking about this thing. And then you make a decision. You're not teaching them a decision. You're teaching them to wait, mull over an idea, think about it, collect yourself, and then come back and visit that idea. What I'm trying to say is this. Wherever you step is where your children step, where the people that follow you step. If you're a leader in an organization, in an institution, people step where you step. There's a famous meme that is there where a father tells his son, be careful where you step. And then the son tells his father, no, you be careful where you step, because I step where you step. We are bound to create the footsteps that future generations step into. So what do we use to make decisions? Do we make decisions that only satisfy and benefit one generation? Or do we have the capacity and the foresight to make a decision that can span across different generations? If we can make investments as a country, make investments as a family, make investments as institutions that can forerun us, that can exceed our time frame, If you're a CEO or a general manager, are you making management decisions that people can reap the benefits after you're gone? Are you making 10, 20-year decisions, or are you making 1-year decisions, 6 months decisions that are based on incentives that can eventually come to you? The framework you use to make those decisions is bound to be imitated by the future leaders. Even in terms of our national politics, when we look at everything that is going on as a country, in whatever country you're in, the decision-making process of the leaders is bound to affect the decision-making process of the future leaders. And so every generation is reaping what the previous generation sowed. Now, this is how we break the curse. This is how we break the cycle. Make sure that in your generation, you begin thinking about the next one. And every time you do that, you will come up with a goal and a dream that is bigger than you. The goals and the dreams that are bigger than you, that cannot be finished in your generation, are the ones that will inspire the next generation. Then every new generation that will come will not need a new manifesto. A new generation of politicians will not need to come up with a new manifesto. They'll say, oh, the way Mwalimu Julius Nyerere did, oh, the way Nelson Mandela said, we are continuing that legacy. Notice that every person who built a legacy probably did not survive to eat the fruits of that legacy. So right now, we peg our movements on the famous Mandelas or Martin Luther King Jr.'s. Why? Because they built a legacy that was beyond their generation. So this is what you do. And my challenge to you is this, because I feel this so heavy in my heart. This is what I want to do in my family, and I'm asking you to do the same thing. Whatever you're starting, I don't know if it's a business, it could just be your own values even. Just the way you value things, the way you value your relationship with your spouse, the way you value your relationship with your children, whatever you're doing, begin to think intergenerationally. All right? Have a cross-generational mindset. And that's the power of a superior mindset. Think beyond one generation and say, can I set a value system? Can I set a project? Can I open a business that has got the capacity to go into the 3rd and the 4th generation? And when you do that, you do not need to look for followers. People will see that you have a vision that's too big for you to carry. They will automatically be attracted to your vision because they can see that your vision is not dependent on a fruit that only you can eat. And once they are attracted to that, that's how you start a movement. Every movement in history was started by people that think beyond themselves. So this is a difficult but deep but beautiful conversation that we are starting today. And I'm challenging you, wherever you are, begin a cross-generational conversation and watch your life and the life of the people that follow you go to the next level. This is your Monday 707. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Victor. Keep growing and stay inspired. See you next time.